Hey guys, and welcome back to my cooking channel, Katie Cooks Easy Recipes. And today we're going all the way to Indonesia, where I'm going to show you a really great dish that's called Nasi Goreng. Now, this is basically Indonesia's version of fried rice, and it's generally topped with a lovely fried egg as well, crispy shallot. It's salty, it's sweet, it's a little bit spicy, it's full of flavours, and yes, you do serve it with cucumber on the side traditionally. Don't knock it till you tried it. At first I was like, cucumber with fried rice? But it actually adds a really lovely respite and cooling sensation. So, as always, we'll start with the ingredients. So we're going to go with about 5 tablespoons of vegetable oil, or enough to shallow fry, 2 finely sliced shallots. We've got 4 portions of cold cooked rice. If you want the best fried rice, cook it the day before and leave it in your refrigerator. That's the secret to really great fried rice. A really great website called School of Wok taught me to make a wok clock. Basically, get everything prepared and onto a plate in the order that you throw it into your stir fry. We began with our paste, which is 1 tablespoon of shrimp paste, 1 tablespoon of garlic and ginger puree, lemongrass stalk finely chopped, a bird's eye chilli finely sliced, and then I'll go in with my diced chestnut mushrooms for a meaty taste and texture, and some julienne carrots. Then traditionally we would use kecap mani, which is like a sweetened soy sauce, but in my case I've got a mixture of soy and honey, and then some lovely coriander stalks and some chopped spring onion, and then we're going to garnish it with some lovely fried eggs and some cooling cucumber. You can take the seeds out of the bird's eye chilli if you prefer it less spicy, but this is everything we're going to need. So get it all prepared, because stir frying is so quick. I find that the majority of the time with like stir fries is taken preparing the veg, and then it's cooked in an instant. So I've got my wok on a medium to high heat. Just give it a little wipe out, make sure it's clean, and then to the side I've got some kitchen roll on a plate, because we're going to fry our crispy shallots now. Crispy shallots are a game changer for fried rice. Like, you wait, please don't skip this part, because it adds such a lovely flavour to the dish. So we've got our roughly 5 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and we're heating that up now on a medium to high heat. Once it's warm, you can just test it with 1 bit of shallot, and then if it starts sizzling, you know that the oil is at the right temperature. And then what you're going to do is just keep them moving around, let them cook out, let the moisture cook out of them, and this will take sort of 5 minutes or so. I'm just going to keep them moving around, and then once they're lovely and golden, we're going to remove them and pop them onto our paper towel. And there is a fine balance between like golden brown and black, so don't let them go too far. I've got 1 or 2 little bits of onion in there that did go a little bit too far, and they're extremely bitter. But what you're looking for generally is this lovely deep brown golden colour, and don't worry if they don't seem crispy, they'll crisp up when they're sitting there resting on the kitchen towel while we get the rest of our stir fry ready. And not only do these make a lovely garnish on top of our rice, it actually flavours the oil that we're going to cook the rest of the stir fry in. However, we'd be really unhealthy if we stir fried in all of that oil, so really carefully, because the oil's hot, get yourself a paper towel and some tongs, and then just use that to soak up most of the oil. You want to leave sort of 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil in there. We want it to taste like fried rice after all, so yeah, leave about 2 tablespoons. And here I've got my wok clock, and this obviously just helps me be super organised. So the first bit that I need to throw in is in one little section, and that was basically our base flavours. I think I forgot to mention that it's got tamarind paste there as well. So we've got some garlic and ginger puree, we've got shrimp paste, tamarind, we've got sliced lemongrass and some sliced red bird's eye chilli. I'm just going to keep that moving. It will spit a little bit, so just be really careful. Just keep it moving, don't let anything burn. That is so flavoursome. If you could smell this now, your mouth would be absolutely watering. And then we're going to, once that's lovely and fragrant, after about 3 minutes or so, we're going to go in with our julienne carrot and our lovely diced chestnut mushrooms. These are going to give us some lovely texture, something to bite down on. Really nice. Of course, you can make this dish with any protein you like. You could use chicken, prawns, beef, pork, whatever you like. I'm keeping it veggie, we're keeping it nice and cheap, and try and save some money. If your pan gets a little bit too dry, do feel free to add in a little bit of oil, but I like to try and save calories where I can, so I've just added a little splash of water just to get everything going again. And then we're going to just stir fry these again for another sort of 3 minutes or so. We still want a lovely crunch to our veggies. When all the moisture has all but gone, we're going to go in with our lovely cooked refrigerated rice. I'm using basmati rice here. You can use long grain, whatever you've got in the cupboard, but yeah, please do try and cook it the day before and let it cool into a fridge. And then we're just going to keep that moving, turn the heat up really lovely and high, just keep that moving, warm that rice, for it must be completely piping hot when we serve it to make sure there's no dangerous bacteria in there. So get it on a really high heat, keep it moving all around and ensure that you have cooked it piping hot all the way through. And then when the rice is lovely and heated up, this is my favourite bit, this is when the dish really comes alive. It gets a really deep dark colour. It looks absolutely delicious, mouth-watering. So that was our sweetened soy sauce mixture. So that was just normal soy sauce. There's about 4 tablespoons and then about a tablespoon and a half of honey. You can use brown sugar, whatever you've got available. And then you're just going to get that mix in, again still on a high heat, get it all mixed in, every single rice grain coated and really yummy. And then keeping one eye on your fried rice at the same time, keep it moving so nothing burns. We're going to fry our egg ready for the top of our dish, and this is just how I like to fry my eggs. So you get obviously some oil, and you want to get it onto a nice medium to high heat. I can't stand any kind of runny white. It completely puts me off the egg, it'll put me off probably the whole dish if I see a snotty bit of white. So what I like to do, obviously being very careful because the oil is hot, I like to use a little spatula and just baste the top of the egg. I find it's a lot easier than trying to flip the egg in case you break the yolk, because I'm fussy, I do like a runny yolk. I just don't like a runny white, and I think most people like that. So yeah, this is easier than trying to flip the whole thing and risk breaking the yolk. So just very carefully, you just baste in the top of that egg until everything looks like it's completely cooked. And then I just gently move the egg around a little bit, just get it off the bottom really carefully, trying not to break that egg yolk. And I think where a lot of people forget to do is also don't forget to baste the top of the egg yolk as well, because that still has that snotty white membrane over the top of it that also, in my eyes, needs to be cooked. So it will look like your yolk will still stay soft as long as you don't overdo it. But that is how I like to cook my eggs. Back to the rice that's been frying away lovely. We're going to go in with those finely chopped coriander stalks and sliced onions for a lovely bit of freshness. And it really is the dish finished now, so we're just putting that last little flourish of green in there, and then we're going to start dishing up. You know, this dish is lovely just spoon straight into the bowl, but if you want to be a little bit fancy schmancy, we're going to use a small like side dish bowl type thing, finger bowl. We're going to put our rice into that first before we present it onto the plate. So we're just going to get a nice big portion. These bowls that I've got here are perfect size for one. Plop it, it's not really the right word, but pop it in, and then give it a little tap for luck like we like to do also with sandcastles, and then lift it up, and you should have this beautiful perfect little mound of rice that you've just got to try and resist. Don't dig in there. We're going to add the last touches to this dish, which, as I said earlier, is often served with fresh sliced cucumber, which seemed really alien to me to have with fried rice, but when I tasted it all together, I was won over. And sometimes like they have some fresh sliced tomato as well, but that was a step too far for me, but I will try it next time. Then we've got our lovely fried egg, and then this is probably my favourite bit of the dish, those lovely crispy shallots that are now super lovely and crisp. They've sat there, and then I put some extra sliced spring onion on. It's a little drizzle of sriracha hot sauce, which I forgot to film, but how yummy does that look? Super savoury, super yummy, super satisfying. Now this was a mashup of 2 recipes, so I'm not going to take the credit for it, but I'd like to work on my own learning with this, and hopefully you've learnt from this recipe as well, and one day I'll have my own little recipe of a Nasi Goreng that I can share with you.